Robin Hood Radio presents Stage Right or Not with Michele Willens. Michele is a longtime journalist and herself is a published playwright of several theatrical works. She's a frequent contributor to the Huffington Post, Daily Beast, and the Atlantic websites.
Another opening of another show.
So I am back in New York City. Not that it's mattered much during the last 16 months. And I've now seen my first indoor show, just before it closed, alas, but the experience is worth spending a few moments on. Yes, I have seen blindness, pardon the pun. I've heard it is more accurate. This was the city's first in-person show, replete with social distancing, chairs, and masking, of course. It was an interesting, even creepy experience, especially when the words epidemic and quarantine entered the narration. And it was totally narrated by a woman playing more than one part. The most important elements in blindness were the sound effects. We all wore headsets, which felt like they were in our ears only, and the haunting lighting. Was it theater? Who knows? It was performance art of a sort, and it was inside the Darrell Roth Theater in Union Square, though of course no stage was involved. Next up, I will be attending Merry Wives in Central Park, at least once it reopens, after a series of cancellations due to a combination of an actor's injury, followed by a case or two of you-know-what. And I'll be reporting on Passover on Broadway, the second on that most anticipated list, the first being a guy named Springsteen. Passover, a drama about two black men, had its premiere at Steppenwolf in Chicago. Well, stay tuned and fingers crossed. As for what's out there now, in some form or others, get out your jogging shoes for Endure, also a unique audio play. This one begins and ends following one female marathoner in Central Park over a few miles and deals with her survival and aspirations and ultimately about having yourself a company over the long slog. Endure is available through August 8th, and you can get more info on that through runwomanshow.com. Now that's theater on the run. Here's one on the tube. For true musical theater aficionados, we have Schmigadoon on Apple TV+. The show's references include Brigadoon, Carousel, Oklahoma, Annie Get Your Gun, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, A Music Man, Sound of Music, South Pacific, and The King and I. Some are direct parodies of specific songs. It's been well received and stars Cicely Strong of SNL fame and Keegan-Michael Key. Now, while we're on different mediums, put those earplugs back in because Hilton Als, former critic of The New Yorker, now has a podcast in which scenes from three little-known and frankly critically panned Tennessee Williams plays are performed. His actors include Reed Birney and Michele Williams. And on the subject of Williams, that's Tennessee, not Michelle, check out the new documentary called Truman and Tennessee. It's about the rather astonishing lifelong relationship between the playwright and the writer, Truman Capote. It's a powerful study of the highs and lows of the writing life. They were the epitome of that risky roller coaster. Memories are always breaking my heart is one of Williams' lines that I recall. This can be found via the Laemmle, Laemmle, theater chain site. You'll pay a small fee to stream, but it's well worth it. Meanwhile, Lincoln Center Theater has been doing its share of keeping us entertained. For the past few months, newly edited archival recordings of its productions have been made available to stream. The latest is Sarah DeLapp's The Wolves, which follows high school girls on a soccer team as they warm up. The Wolves was a Pulitzer Prize finalist in 2017. This production had 3 off-Broadway runs. Lincoln Center's is up through August 15th. You find that through lct.org. Another way to view good works is by checking out National Theater live offerings. I, for one, am going to watch one of my favorite actors, Chiwetel Ejiofor, in an adaptation of the medieval morality play Everyman. And if you did not see, as I did, Eva von Hove's controversial and rather shattering revival of Arthur Miller's drama A View from the Bridge, which came to Broadway in 2015, well, this is your chance. Those are more and more found on NTA National Theater at home.com. On a different note, let me mention a few news stories this past week about a trio of much respected off-Broadway houses. First, the Cherry Lane Theater, the oldest continuously running off-Broadway venue in New York City, has been sold for $11 million. The new owner will be the Lucille Lortel Theater Foundation. The sale includes the 179-seat main stage and a 60-seat studio theater. Hopefully, audiences won't notice any major changes. Then there was the announcement that John Doyle, the artistic director of Classic Stage Company since 2016, will step down next summer. I feel like it's somebody else's turn, Doyle said. Classic Stage also revealed its 2021-22 season, Doyle's last with the company. The productions include Stephen Sondheim and John Weidman's Assassins, and Terrence McNally's A Man of No Importance. Doyle, a master of minimalism, directs both of those. And for a little more inside baseball, when Rattlestick Playwrights Theater, that's the West Village testing ground for emerging writers, reopens August 14th, it will have a heavier load than normal. That'll have 3 main stage shows this year, but rehearsals will take place exclusively during the 5-day work week, and no rehearsal or tech call will last longer than 8 hours. Rattlestick, by the way, is where Heidi Schreck premiered What the Constitution Means to Me. Now back to what to enjoy from home. I viewed a one-man piece called The Duat, D-U-A-T, streamed via the Center Theater Group org in Los Angeles. Go to that site's digital stage to find this one-man play. The one man here is actor-director Greg Daniel. It's a tough but ultimately touching 50-minute piece, part of a series called Not a Moment but a Movement. We travel this man's journey from self-hatred to self-respect. By the way, the title, Duat, apparently refers to the Egyptian meaning of realm of the dead, and this man is making his case there for the proper judgment. And speaking of that, in Judgment Day, a play reading which is being reprised by the Barrington Stage Company. In that one, Sammy Campo, a deeply corrupt, morally bankrupt lawyer, has a near-death experience in which he encounters a terrifying angel who threatens him with eternal damnation. In a desperate attempt to redeem himself, Sammy teams with a Catholic priest who's having his own crisis of faith. Did I mention that this is a comedy? I watched this reading a year ago, and I'm so happy that more will get a chance to watch an amazing cast. Jason Alexander, Patti LuPone, Michael McKean, Santino Fontana, and Loretta Devine. They all read Robert Ulan's funny and meaningful words. Ulan, I think it's pronounced Ulan, has been a highly successful TV writer. This first stab at playwriting was developed in the Berkshires. It was a learning curve for me, Ulan told me. Since a camera can do a lot of work for you, it's harder to cheat on a stage. As Jason Alexander, who was truly remarkable in this one, told me, Judgment Day is one of those rare comedies that is as good on the page as it is on the stage. We all had so much fun trying to bring it to life within the confines of the pandemic. I only hope that it sparks the desire to mount a full production, as it would be even more glorious on a real stage with a real audience. And finally, one more plug for the Barrington Stage. Performances have been added through August 7th for Eleanor, playwright Mark St. Germain's tribute to arguably our most influential First Lady. Starring Tony Award-winning actress Harriet Harris, tickets are going fast for Eleanor. So, Jill, doors are continuing to open up, albeit very carefully.
And are people relatively cheerful? I did see the one is starting to see ads, and one is starting certainly here. What you were in California? Were you noticing that people are getting more enthusiastic?
A little bit. Los Angeles, I would say, somewhat less so, just because the theater community, it's certainly gotten much better over the last several years. I would say people are still very cautious. So far, only one, the one I reviewed, is being done in a parking lot. But yes, I think people are getting ready. I've even talked to some people who are flying to New York in the fall.
You had mentioned it. Well, it's getting there. And what do you have a plan for the first thing for the next show that you are going to see inside?
Oh, inside, no. Passover would be the one, and that's supposed to be in August. So I'm waiting for my press pass for that one. Yeah, that'll be the one everybody's watching. It's really a few weeks away. They start rehearsals anyway. Same with Hadestown. But I haven't talked to anybody yet who's been inside a Broadway house. Hopefully, I'll be talking about it in a few weeks right here. So we shall see. And, in terms of protocols, I don't know. It's still very much a fluid situation. Look, Shakespeare in the Park, they've already canceled 3 performances. They keep putting off the opening date,
When is the opening day?
Well, I think they've moved it a few weeks. I've got a press date on August 4th, if they don't move that. I think the official opening is about the 8th, August 8th. They've been in rehearsal, so people have seen it. And it's getting fun response, but, if I could get paid for my predictions, I'd be a very rich girl.
Stage Right or Not with Michele Willens, produced in the studios of Robin Hood Radio, robinhoodradio.com.